Congressional Republican leaders could raise the debt ceiling as early as this week, attaching the hard-to-swallow issue to a popular emergency spending package for the victims of Hurricane Harvey, sources say. Under the emerging strategy, the House would pass the disaster relief bill Wednesday, and the Senate would then attach a debt ceiling increase and send it back to the House for approval by the end of the week. No final decisions have been made. And an increasing number of Republicans are expressing reservations about combining the two bills. Complications could arise if as much as a single unhappy conservative in the Senate decides to slow the legislation, dragging the fight out into the weekend. And a senior Senate Democratic aide cautioned against the GOP relying on Democratic votes without seeing the details of the proposal, such as how long the debt ceiling would be lifted. In recent years, Democrats have shouldered the bulk of debt and spending votes and they have significant sway over negotiations. But Republicans leaders are concerned that preparations for Hurricane Irma, a second massive storm that could hit Florida in the coming days, could deplete FEMA's emergency funds as soon as this week. Harvey's destruction costs are already sucking up funding faster than leaders believed possible just a week ago, requiring quicker action on the debt limit. We'll pass relief to make sure FEMA has enough money to get moving right now. But you are going to hit that debt ceiling regardless, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican California, told Fox Business Maria Bartiromo in a Tuesday morning interview. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is telling us, if you pass just a supplemental, they may not be able to put the money forward without having the debt ceiling raised. You don't want an inability to obligate funds because of either the disaster relief accounts running out of money or because Treasury is running low on its cash balances in an emergency, added a senior Republican aide familiar with the issue. The time to address these issues is this week. President Donald Trump will huddle Wednesday with Speaker Paul Ryan, Republican Wisconsin, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RKY, and Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer, DNY, and Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, to discuss next steps. White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney will also be on the Hill and plans to brief all GOP senators at a Wednesday lunch, according to a Republican aide. Over the weekend, top White House officials took to TV talk shows to warn that any new FEMA spending would deplete the Treasury Department's coffers even quicker this month. They originally asked GOP leaders to raise the debt ceiling by the end of September, but that date is moving up with the Harvey package. The president and I believe that it should be tied to the Harvey funding, Mnuchin said Sunday on Fox News. If Congress appropriates the money, but I don't have the ability to borrow more money and pay for it, we're not going to be able to get that money to the state. So, we need to put politics aside. GOP leaders are hoping Trump will come out and ask publicly for a debt limit Harvey bill, giving them cover with unhappy members of the party's right flank. Conservative complaints about a debt ceiling lift that doesn't cut spending are only likely to crescendo in the week ahead and could cause serious problems, particularly because other more moderate Republicans are also unhappy with the strategy. Indeed, those pushing back against the strategy include a wide range of Republicans, from House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows, RNC, to more centrist members like California GOP Representative Jeff Denham, a close ally of McCarthy's. I get nervous anytime we tie anything to the debt ceiling, Denham said in an interview on Tuesday. He said he prefers to handle the debt ceiling on its own or paired with some FEMA spending reforms. Republicans are also considering adding a bill to fund the government to the Harvey debt limit package, with a possible shutdown looming at the end of month. That would offer more disaster assistance more quickly to those affected by Harvey and Irma, one Republican aide argued. While that idea has the backing of some GOP leaders, others worry it would slow action on the other must-pass bills and may not be possible given the current time crunch. Tying a continuing resolution that extends current spending levels to Harvey aid and the debt ceiling could also be too much for some Republicans to stomach. Many GOP lawmakers routinely oppose temporary funding bills as bad policy, and any single senator can delay a bill for several days. With the disaster aid needed urgently, loading up this week's Harvey relief further would increase the chances of a messy fight over debt and spending at a critical time.